Hey guys, what's going on? Back again, and this time we're going to be talking about some interesting stuff. I'm going to be talking about some characters that you may have never thought about before. Mainly some of the characters you're actually seeing in the background right now. Although the bulk of this theory is going to be about Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby. Yeah, so, well, without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, what is this theory about? Well, when FNAF 6 came out, there were some obvious, design changes with Scrap animatronics. Mainly, Scrap Trap being very different than Spring Trap, and then Molten Freddy. Although, just by looking at Molten Freddy, you wouldn't really notice that it's different than Funtime Freddy, other than the fact that it's completely destroyed. Although Scrap Baby is kind of the same thing, until you put Scrap Baby's head next to Circus Baby's, and then you'll notice some differences. However, I'm going to start us off with Molten Freddy. So, Molten Freddy. Everyone thinks he comes from Funtime Freddy because of the mask he has. However, if you look at his mask, the face plates, it's kind of hard to tell because of the fact that the mask is all ripped apart. But you can make out the face plates, and the faceplate, it goes under the eyes. So it gets split in half in the middle and then goes under the eyes and then goes across. When you look at Funtime Freddy's, they just stop at the eye, or it goes in between the eyes, but it doesn't go under. It just stops. And then it just goes down to the snout. But Molten Freddy's doesn't. So why? Little things like that are the kind of things that we pay attention to when looking at FNAF. Down to fingers and toes, eye color and hair color. Everything matters in this franchise. So why make this difference? Well, maybe the mask doesn't come from Funtime Freddy then. Maybe it comes from someone else. But who else? Well, maybe from Yenndo. Yendo's the only other bear in Sister Location. Maybe it comes from him. Yenndo is supposedly the endoskeleton of a yellow version of Funtime Freddy, so the Golden Freddy of Sister Location. That's what the Y stands for in Yenndo. So, and it would make sense for Molten Freddy's mask to be the color it is, if it were to have originally been yellow and not purple. And actually, Yenndo here can actually kind of help prove that the existence of a lolbit actually makes sense. Because lolbit is just, you may think lolbit's just a recolor of Funtime Foxy, but lolbit does have some other differences, mainly the eyes, having no endoskeleton, no eyebrows, that kind of stuff, and obviously the colors. But Yenndo being yellow and lolbit being orange, they're just the second version of Funtime Freddy and Funtime Foxy. Yendo's hand puppet would have just been Bonnet, because Bon is blue, Funtime Freddy's purple. They're very different. So Yenndo is yellow, Bonnet's pink, and then lolbit's orange. And Funtime Freddy being purple and Funtime Foxy being pink, their color difference is kind of the same between the yellow and orange we see here with Freddy and with Yenndo and lolbit. So that's kind of cool. And then you got the Electro Babs and Mini Renas 2 being the second version of those animatronics. Okay, now back to the actual theory here. So Molten Freddy's mask comes from the original Yenndo animatronic. And another thing is Molten Freddy's mask doesn't have cheeks. Now, if you look at Yenndo, he kind of does have where cheeks would be, but maybe that's the reason Yenndo doesn't have an animatronic in or on him, because maybe they made him without, like maybe they made his design wrong, and so they scrapped it because it was completely different than the endoskeleton they had. Now, on to Scrap Baby. I'm probably going to have to put a picture on screen that has both Scrap Baby and Circus Baby, because like me just listing the differences won't be enough. You'll have to see for yourself. But I will start listing the differences, and there are a lot of them. There are a lot of differences. So, all right, well, let's get into it. First of all, and by differences, I mean the face, right? Like, obviously, the rest of the body is different because Ennard rebuilt Baby, but the face is the main thing I'm looking at here, just like with Molten Freddy. So, let's look at the differences. Again, with the faceplates. Scrap Baby has 4 faceplates, while Circus Baby has 6. The faceplates go in between her eyes, and then would go under her eyes too, kind of like Molten Freddy's. And Circus Baby's don't. Circus Baby's faceplates, 1, don't go under her eyes, and 2, when they get in between her eyes, there's like a really small little plate on each side there that Scrap Baby does not have. Scrap Baby's lipstick actually kind of like makes lip shapes, while Circus Baby's lipstick just outlines her mouth. The cheeks, the lipstick, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, and a bunch of other stuff is different colored than Circus Baby's. Obviously, the hair is different, but I just figured that could have just been something Ennard did. The mouth on Circus Baby, the bottom and the top of the mouth are able to reach both cheeks, but with Scrap Baby, the top and the bottom of the mouth end up reaching like each other before getting to the cheeks. So it's like a full mouth. Scrap Baby, above their eyes, they have this weird, like, thing. I don't even know, like, where the eyelid is or something. I don't know what it is, but Scrap Baby's is, like, gray, while Circus Baby's is white. And Scrap Baby's actually goes inside of her head. Like, it kind of goes inward, like a big indent. Also, I can't remember if it's Scrap Baby or Circus Baby, but one of them has their eyelashes actually on that, while the other one has their eyelashes coming from the eyes. The nose, Scrap Baby's nose isn't cut in half, while Circus Baby's is. It's a different shape, size, and color. So, yeah, there are a lot of differences. Tons. There's probably more that I could name, but that's enough for now. So what does this mean then? If Molten Freddy's mask actually has someone it can come from, being the other version of Funtime Freddy Yenndo, where can Circus Baby's mask come from? Because there isn't a second Circus Baby, right? Well, maybe there is. Maybe there is, that we've seen all this time and have never actually thought about. There was one animatronic in the game that you never really get to see all of. And this one I'm talking about is the sister location Night 4 animatronic, when you're inside of a spring lock suit and you have to wind the spring locks and all that while the mini arenas are crawling all over you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And if you actually look at it, the eye holes make sense. The faceplates go in between the eyes and under the eyes. The mouth is the same shape and size. There is no nose hole on this animatronic. However, that could have just been created by Ennard to put a nose in there to make it look more like Circus Baby. So yeah, I'm proposing that the Night 4 animatronic that you were inside of is the second version of Circus Baby that goes on to become Scrap Baby. Because Scrap Baby is made of things inside of this location place. Like, she has 2 lights in her chest that actually come from Circus Baby's auditorium room. The claw would be her, like, scooper thing that she kidnaps Elizabeth with. And, yeah, all the other stuff can come from wherever else. So, we're not done, though. The theory isn't over. Like, that's enough, probably, for a video on its own. Molten Freddy's mask comes from Yenndo. Scrap Baby's mask comes from Night 4 animatronic. However, we can even prove this further if we go to Security Breach and we look at the blob, right? The big Molten Freddy looking guy. His mask actually proves the theory that Molten Freddy's mask is not Funtime Freddy's. Because Funtime Freddy's mask is on the blob, and it has the same colors. It's white and purple, and it is Funtime Freddy's. It has the same faceplates, the same everything. It's just a little damaged. And Molten Freddy's mask was completely ripped to pieces and should be gone, probably melted by now after being in a fire. So how could he have it here, and how could it be different? Well, if Molten Freddy's mask wasn't Funtime Freddy's, then the blob just picked up Funtime Freddy's and has that one now. And we're not even done, because Circus Baby is also on the blob, I think at the top. And it is Circus Baby's head and torso. It has the same hair. It's exactly Circus Baby. So how could this be possible if Scrap Baby looked so different, and if Scrap Baby's head was supposed to be Circus Baby's head? That wouldn't make any sense. How could it have gone back to its original state? After being in a fire, by the way, and being left there for God knows how many years. So there we go. The blob proves the theory that those masks from Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby are different. And then the blob ended up just getting the original ones. So there you go. Like, the moment I looked at the blob, I was like, oh, hell yeah. That's it right there. That's the big nail in the coffin. Because I had this theory for a long time. This theory I came up with back when FNAF 6 came out. Like, this theory I've had for a very long time, and thanks to the blob, I can prove it. I can prove my theory. So, there you go. I've given you lore significance for Yenndo, for Lolbit, for Bonnet, Electrobabs, and Mini-Renas too. They exist as doppelgangers, or just other versions of the original ones, just like the Withered animatronics with the toys, just like the Halloween edition for FNAF 4, along with the Nightmares, just like having a spare Freddy in FNAF 1, just like having the Withered animatronics in Fredbear's Family Diner, just like FNAF 6 having 4 different sets of animatronics. And I've given you reasons for Molten Freddy and Scrap Baby's mask looking different, and I've proven it from a character from Security Breach. There you go. I don't know what more evidence you need. That's it. Like, there you go. So, this has been me talking about a bunch of animatronics. Mainly, obviously, Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy. And I'm happy to say that this theory I've had for a long time has actually been proven true. So there we go. And I'm happy to, well, I'm just happy that that happened. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.